Next, we'd like to recognize those receiving peer achievement ribbons. For those of you that are not familiar with this ribbon, 2 years ago we started presenting it, and what is special about this award is it's given to the honorees. They're nominated by their peers. So their peers recognize their actions are worthy of recognition by the agency. So with the following people, please join me up here at the podium. Police Services Technician 2, Jonathan Black. Police Officer Elliot McIver. Police Lieutenant Victor Pacheco. And the star of the show.
I needed somebody to make it look good.
His feet are bigger than the thing. Pacheco family, your family here? JSO family. Woo-hoo. So for our first Employee of the Month recognition of the day, I'd like to invite our February 2018 Police Officer of the Month, Detective Garrett Bennett, to please join me at the podium. So Garrett is currently assigned to work in our investigations division, specifically in our robbery unit. So some of you may remember Garrett from our December award ceremony just a couple months ago when he received the same honor for his work solving a series of robberies to a popular fast food chain. Today we recognize Garrett's efforts, which resulted in the clearance of 7 open armed business robberies. Between July and November of last year, the same suspect committed 6 armed robberies at dollar stores on the west side of the city. The male suspect was consistent with his actions during each incident, and in several instances he was wearing the same clothing. Garrett was the lead detective on 2 of the cases in the series. During his investigation, Garrett obtained surveillance video from a neighboring business, which helped identify the make and model of the suspect's vehicle. In addition, on the black 4-door sedan, there was a distinct bumper sticker or a sticker in the rear window. Garrett shared this vital information with patrol officers in the area and detectives from the Baker County Sheriff's Office. While speaking with his contacts from Baker County, Garrett learned that an incident with a similar suspect description had recently occurred at a dollar store in their jurisdiction. Shortly after their meeting, officers from the Baker County Sheriff's Office located the suspect's vehicle at a repair shop. Garrett worked with them to identify the individual who dropped off his vehicle at the repair shop. Meanwhile, a search warrant was issued for the vehicle, and Garrett, along with the lead detectives of the other robbery cases, were able to positively identify the suspect. Also during the investigation, detectives obtained video footage of a pawn shop transaction where the suspect was wearing the same clothing that was worn during the robberies. Ultimately, the suspect was arrested and confessed to multiple armed robberies. Police Sergeant Chester Bear said, and I quote, "The efforts of Detective Bennett directly resulted in the clearance of 7 open armed business robberies with a previously unknown suspect and rid the community of an armed and dangerous suspect." He went on to say, "The teamwork displayed between the JSO and the Baker County Sheriff's Office served as an example to all. Detective Bennett truly exemplifies our core values, worthy of trust and community focus." Garrett, great work. So the Police Officer of the Month Award is sponsored by Nimnik Chevrolet, and I'd like to invite Tim Howe to the podium.
In the car business, if you have a great month, usually on the first of the following month, they ask, well, what have you done for me lately? So I see you've had a streak of good luck and fortune here with JSO and solving some crime. So I'm sure they're going to be looking for a hat trick out of you here shortly. On behalf of Nimnik Chevrolet, I would like to present you with this token of our appreciation and gift as well. Thank you very much for your hard work and dedication. Here.
Garrett, you got any family, friends with you?
No, not today.
Just JSO. For our next recognition of the day, I'd like to invite our Civilian Employee of the Month, Liz Peterson, to join me at the podium. Liz works in our crime analysis unit. Today we are recognizing her for identifying and locating a serial bank robber who committed at least 5 known robberies in 2 states. In late December of 2016 and in mid-February of 2017, 2 bank robberies occurred at different branch locations of a well-known bank here in Jacksonville. On Thursday, April 20th of last year, a First Coast Crime Stoppers tip came in with information that led to the name of a possible suspect. Detectives gave this information to Liz for follow-up. Liz was able to confirm the suspect's identity. Our detectives were able to get a search warrant for the suspect's social media account, where Liz found a connection between the suspect and his clothing in both of the Jacksonville robberies. Detectives were able to obtain an arrest warrant for the suspect. This information was shared with the FBI and the Atlanta Police Department, and they were able to connect the suspect to 3 robberies in the Atlanta area. Liz was able to locate a phone number that the suspect was using and a current address, which led to his apprehension in Virginia, where he has been working for the city of Roanoke as a security guard. Nice. Selbrika Tene, the manager of our crime analysis unit, said, and I quote, "Elizabeth Peterson worked tirelessly in an effort to secure the arrest for a serial bank robber. She went on to say she utilized high-level analytical skills and methods to assist both JSO detectives and FBI agents in this investigation. She is to be commended for her work and committed to the furtherance of this unit and the agency in which she serves. Liz, this is excellent work. You truly exhibit the Sheriff's Office core values of respect for each other and worthy of trust. Congratulations on earning this well-deserved accolade." The Civilian Employee of the Month Award is sponsored by the Hamburg Dinner Theater, and I'd like to have Craig Smith come on up.
Well, Liz, congratulations. Obviously, we do this every month, and what a great story to hear about, and good work on you. The one thing that did shock me is the fact you have to get a search warrant to look at social media. It's social media, by God, right? You just go online and look at it. But congratulations, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Family, friends?
My husband, my mom, and then my JSO family.
Husband, raise your hand. Hey, buddy. How are you? Mom? Hey, JSO family. Thank you. Our next honoree of the day is our February 2018 Reserve Officer of the Month. Would Reserve Lieutenant Murray Kramer please join me at the podium? So Murray is a retired captain with JFRD, and he served as a colonel in the United States Army Reserve. Murray, like all of our reservists, volunteers his time to this agency and this community. Today, we are recognizing him for his overall dedication to the city and his willingness to help when called upon. In 2017, Murray worked a total of 3,062 hours. So you do the math in your head real quick. So let me break that down for you. Reservists, they only have to work 240 a year, and he worked over 3,000. So that's pretty a testament to what he's willing to get. Remember, he don't get a penny. So let me tell you how he spent those 3,000 plus hours. Murray works in various areas of the agency, including but not limited to patrol, narcotics and vice, as a member of the Reserve Unit's bike squad, and he supervises the SWAT medic program. He also served as the safety officer for JSO under the incident command system on multiple occasions. Murray, first and foremost, thank you for serving in this leadership role in our Reserve Unit. I commend you for your dedication, hard work, and for generously giving your time to the city. I'm honored to present you with the February 2018 Reserve Officer of the Month Award. The Reserve Officer of the Month Award is sponsored by G4S Secure Solutions, and I'd like to invite Eric Lallman to the podium.
Lieutenant Kramer, first of all, congratulations, well deserved. On behalf of G4S, we certainly would like to provide you with a small token of our appreciation for your commitment and dedication to a life of truly service. And I'm sure that Jacksonville Sheriff's Office certainly appreciates your commitment and dedication to the city of Jacksonville and all its residents. Congratulations.
Family, friends.
My son Sean, my wife is in Afghanistan, my son's on duty, and my JSO family.
Look at that, whole family. For this next presentation, I'd like to invite our February 2018 Police Supervisor of the Month, with Police Sergeant Chris Ray. Join me at the podium, please. So Chris is currently assigned to work in patrol as a supervisor in Zone 4. If you're not familiar with this area of town, it includes Riverside, Avondale, Ortega, and the West Side. Today we're recognizing Chris for his instrumental role in the identification and successful arrest of a suspect. Around 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday, November 3rd of 2017, officers responded to a call in reference to an elderly man being stabbed while walking his dog in Willow Branch Park. Chris effectively managed personnel at the scene and at the hospital, all while ensuring a secure perimeter was intact. Sadly, at the hospital, the victim succumbed to his injuries. Patrol officers canvassed the area where they were able to develop leads that led to identifying a possible location for the suspect. Chris established a perimeter surrounding the residence where it was believed the suspect was located. Chris quickly put a plan in action with a team of officers to make contact with the suspect and successfully detain him. The witnesses at the park positively identified the suspect as the person who committed the stabbing. Ultimately, the suspect was arrested for murder. Following the incident, Chris was credited for his quick efforts in establishing a canvass of the area, which led to the identification and successful apprehension of the suspect. Chris, great work that day. Thank you for leading by example. I applaud you for quick thinking, and I'm honored to present you with the Police Supervisor of the Month Award. The Police Supervisor of the Month Award is sponsored by Steinmart and Kim Purdue.
Morning. An awesome act of courage and valor, Sergeant Ray. I'd like to present you with a gift card and a plaque and congratulations And at Steinmart, we appreciate you guys. We really do. We use you guys a lot. I'm sure they know my name.
You have family, friends?
My JSO family.
There you go, everybody. Today I have the privilege of presenting a life-saving medal. This is one of the greatest recognitions that one can receive that signifies their actions directly help to save another human life. Would Judicial Officer Robbie Burnett please join me at the podium? Robbie currently works as a bailiff at the Duval County Courthouse. Today, he's being honored for utilizing his training to help save the life of an individual in a jury. In the afternoon hours of Tuesday, September 5th of last year, an individual in the jury assembly room became ill and had trouble breathing. Several people came to his aid and laid him down on the floor. Robbie immediately recognized the individual was in distress and began performing CPR. Another bailiff brought an automated external defibrillator, also known as an AED, to the room. Robbie applied the pads to the individual, which indicated a shock was necessary. After the machine shocked the individual, Robbie continued performing CPR until the rescue unit arrived and took over. Rescue transported the patient to a local hospital for further treatment. I'm happy to report that after 2 weeks in the hospital, the patient was released. JFRD Captain Jim Wilson said, and I quote, "I feel Officer Burnett's awareness that an emergency was taking place and his quick actions contributed to a life being saved. Officer Burnett is an asset to the JSO and his community." Robbie, I commend your quick thinking that day and the actions you took that directly resulted in saving this man's life. I'm honored to present you with this life-saving medal. So normally our life-saving award is co-sponsored by the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 530. They're at the state conference, and we will get their gift for you upon their return. Okay. So thank you. You have family, friends?
Yes, sir. My wife, my daughter-in-law, my son.
Very nice. So for our first group recognition of the day, I'd like to invite the following individuals to please join me at the podium. Police Sergeant Darren Scott, Detective Garrett Bennett, Detective John Hanson, Detective Butch Meisner, and Detective Brooks West. There's an additional detective that would be recognized. It'd be Kevin Munger, but he's not able to be with us here today. These individuals will all be receiving a certificate of commendation for their investigative role, which led to the identification of an armed robbery suspect. During the course of 2 consecutive days in July of last year, a suspect committed 2 armed bank robberies on the west side and an additional armed robbery that resulted in a shootout at a hotel. These detectives standing up here today responded to the initial scenes and collected evidence, specifically video surveillance, which led to the identity of the involved individual. Butch, raise your hand, was the lead detective for the work of the bank robbery, cases, and he quickly worked to get the images of the suspect distributed to the media. This resulted in several tips that identified or helped identify the suspect. Meanwhile, Butch coordinated with Kevin, who was the lead detective in the armed robbery and the shooting at a hotel. Brooks, raise your hand, And Garrett provided additional investigative assistance at the scene of the motel shooting, and were able to gather footage of the two individuals involved in the shootout, as well as images of the suspect who happened to be driving the same vehicle used in both bank robberies. Together, these detectives were able to link the suspects of the bank robberies to the motel shootout. Butch then met with the suspect's family, where he was able to obtain a positive identification of the suspect. While Butch was obtaining an arrest warrant for the suspect, he notified patrol officers working on the west side of town where the two bank robberies occurred. Patrol was able to locate the suspect, and a pursuit ensued and ended in a police-involved shooting. I don't want to get into too many of the details, but I will tell you that the suspect was killed in the exchange, and one of our officers was shot in the face. He is still recovering from his injuries and has not returned to full duty. Darren, raise your hand. Responded to the scene of the police-involved shooting, and he worked with a cold case team and command staff, providing them with detailed information regarding the robbery investigations. Police Sergeant J.D. Stronko said, and I quote, "These detectives' dedication to protect the citizens of the city is to be commended. The teamwork displayed in this case carries on the proud tradition of the robbery unit and clearly demonstrates all of the Sheriff's Office core values. Gentlemen, keep up the good work. I'm honored to present each of you with a certificate of commendation." Thank you. You got family that came today? Sorry, I asked John. So for our next recognition, I'd like the following individuals to join me at the podium. Police Sergeant Mark Musser, Police Sergeant Jay Taylor, Detective Ron Brooks, Police Officer Bill Carlson, Detective Neil Chandler, Detective Dwayne Gray, Detective Anthony Johnson, Detective Manny Pichardo, Detective Ray Reeves, Detective Michelle Soling, and Police Officer Rick Villanueva. Nobody wants to stand up. Today, these individuals will each be receiving a certificate of commendation for their efforts during a missing persons investigation that took place last summer. In addition, Ray, raise your hand, will also be receiving a peer achievement ribbon for his work on this case. During the evening of Wednesday, August 2nd, a young woman by the name of Savannah Gold disappeared from the parking lot of her place of employment in Mandarin. Savannah's mother called the police because she was concerned for her daughter's safety after she received text messages from her phone that seemed out of character. Bill, raise your hand. Began the investigation and coordinated his efforts with the missing persons unit. Police located Savannah's unlocked vehicle in the parking lot with personal belongings inside and a punctured tire. Jay, Johnette, who's not with us today, Anthony, Manny, and Rick, who were all assigned to the missing person unit at the time, began reviewing the details of the victim's disappearance. Jay spoke with the victim's mother to get more information. It became apparent that the victim's disappearance occurred under suspicious circumstances and foul play may be involved. Jay notified the homicide team on call that day, and together they worked to solve the disappearance of Savannah Gold. Ray was assigned as the lead detective on the case. Ray, along with Mark, Michelle, Neil, Dwayne, and Ron, worked together to follow up on leads, conducted witness interviews, and searched for video surveillance in the area where Savannah's car was found. These detectives were able to locate video footage that led them to identify a possible suspect in the case. A few days later, on Saturday, August 5th, Ray and Michelle arrested a potential suspect on an outstanding misdemeanor warrant and brought him into the station for an interview. During the interview, they were able to obtain an admission from the individual that was responsible for the death of Savannah Gold. The suspect was the manager of the restaurant where Savannah worked, and the two of them had an on-again, off-again dating relationship. The suspect led police to where he disposed of the victim's body. Assistant Chief Steve Gallagher said, and I quote, "Their hard work and dedication solved this case, but more importantly, it brought closure to a family that otherwise may never have known what happened to Savannah, and for that, they are to be commended. This is truly a great example of both teamwork and investigative work. I'm honored to present each of you with a certificate of commendation for your work." So I'll start with Ray, so you'll get your peer achievement award for being lead first.
Dress makes us all look better. Any of your family come today? Yes? Michelle?
Yes, yes.
Who is it?
My name's Pat.
Thanks for coming. Anybody else? No? Thank you for coming.
So next, I'd like to recognize a few individuals who have recently received an important or reached an important employment anniversary with JSO, celebrating 30 years of employment with the agency. Corrections Sergeant Tammy Holmes and Police Services Special Senior Kathy Pinnell. Should we put the senior before that, because that sounds kind of, but if you would, those two come on up. Is a birthday celebration in order? Kathy's birthday, so. Family?
My husband George and my Jason.
Hey George, thanks for coming. Family?
My son Christopher, back there from Myrtle Beach Police Department.
Okay.
My niece Diane right there, my daughter, somebody else. It's a bunch of them. My Chief is back there waiting.
He don't count.
He counts. Round. Okay, my dad's on that.
Thank you, thank you, everybody, for coming.
Celebrating 25 years of employment with the agency, GIS Manager George Brown.
CAU family.
Throw us under the bus. The 30-year Kathy, you're going to get your pin. We don't have any in supply. So now with 20 years of employment with the agency, Personnel Clerk Evelyn Snyder, and did Corrections Officer Carradine and Carter ever come? No? 2 no-shows. So Evelyn, come on up.
Yes, friends, yes.
Everybody.
Yes, my
JSO family, thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize an individual that was appointed to the Sheriff's staff in January of this year. Overseeing our specialized patrol section with newly appointed Assistant Chief Brian Keith. Please join me at the podium. With 21 years on the department, Brian has worked his way through the ranks and had the opportunity to serve in countless areas of the agency along the way. These include, but are not limited to, various areas of patrol and the investigations division, tactical support unit, gun crimes unit. Brian also served this agency as the hostage negotiator, team commander, and the commander of the SWAT team. Last month, he was appointed to the Sheriff's staff, and he currently serves as the Assistant Chief of our Specialized Patrol Section. This new position is responsible for overseeing the operations of the specialized units that work directly to support the patrol function, including the aviation unit, the K-9 unit, the offender tracker unit, mobile field force, and the citywide community problem response team. Brian will also direct the efforts of the newly formed specialized traffic enforcement unit designed to keep our roadways safer for motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. Brian, I look forward to seeing what you accomplish in this new role. Congratulations.
Family?
Yes, my wife Trish, my mom, stepdad Rick, father-in-law Rick, and my dad Mike, and my brother Mike.
Mike and Mike. Yeah, thanks for coming.
For our next several presentations, I'd like to recognize those who were recently promoted within the agency. So, with recently promoted Internal Affairs Public Records Administrator Kayla Carey, please join me at the podium. Kayla started working here in October of 2015. Since that time, she has had the opportunity to serve in various areas of the agency, including public records, the warrants unit, and as the Internal Affairs Secretary. Late last year, Kayla was promoted to Public Records Administrator, and she is currently assigned to work in our Internal Affairs unit. Kayla, congratulations on your promotion, and I wish you the best of luck in this new role.
parents and internals in here. Thank you.
That's why everybody's so quiet. Next, I'd like to ask recently promoted Corrections Sergeant Monique Hackett to join me at the podium. In March, Monique will celebrate her 11th employment anniversary with the agency. Since being promoted in December, she has been assigned to work as a supervisor at the jail. Monique, congratulations on your promotion. I also want to say thank you for serving as a field training officer for the Department of Corrections for the past several years. For our next recognition of the day, I'd like to invite newly promoted Police Sergeant Andre Alston to the podium. Andre began his career with JSO in September of 2004 as a police officer. As an officer, he had the opportunity to work Operation Safe Streets and in patrol zones 4 and 5. Earlier this month, Andre was promoted to the rank of police sergeant and is assigned to work in Zone 5. Andre, congratulations on your recent promotion. I wish you the best of luck in this new role.
My wife and kids, my parents, and close friends.
Thank you for coming.
Next, I'd like to invite newly promoted Police Sergeant Paul Rosanka up to the podium. Paul will celebrate his 10th year employment anniversary with the agency in June. During his time as a police officer, he worked in various areas of the agency, including Patrol Zone 5, the Violent Crimes Unit, and the Internal Affairs Unit. Paul was promoted to the rank of sergeant earlier this month, and he currently works in Zone 5. Paul, congratulations on this achievement and best of luck.
Family,
I got my wife Christy, my 2 kids, my mom and dad.
thank you for coming.
Our next honoree was also recently promoted to the rank of police sergeant, with Police Sergeant Darren Scott joining me at the podium. In April of 2007, Darren started working at the JSO as a police officer. Prior to his promotion at the end of January, Darren worked as a detective in the robbery unit, which you may remember from earlier in the ceremony. Darren is currently assigned to work in Zone 3 on the city's south side. Darren, congratulations on your promotion and best of luck.
Family, my wife's over there. Thank you, wife.
For our last promotion recognition of the day, I'd like to invite recently promoted Police Lieutenant Wes Worthington up to the podium. Wes has worked for JSO for nearly 16 years. In April of 2002, he began his career as a police officer, and after successfully passing the sergeant's exam, he was promoted in October of 2008. At the beginning of this month, he was promoted once again, this time to the rank of police lieutenant. Wes is currently assigned to work in Patrol Zone 3. Wes, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing what you accomplish in this new role.
JSO family.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's ceremony. I'd just like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors. Thank you to Publix, which provides refreshments for all of our monthly meritorious award ceremonies. These ceremonies provide the agency with an opportunity to personally thank our people who do great work day in and day out. We value all of our corporate partners who make these events special for the honorees and their families. Following the ceremony, please feel free to come up and take pictures with your families. Also, please enjoy the refreshments while the pictures are being taken. And in closing, I'd like to congratulate all of our Jacksonville Sheriff's Office honorees and the citizens who are honored here today, and be safe out there. Thank you.